This is John Polra. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. I'm talking about The Stand, and as you guys know, it's got Amber Heard, and I've come to some finalized decisions on it. So, here's the thing. A popular opinion is that since Stephen King didn't know Amber Heard was the abuser, that, it's kind of okay that she's in The Stand, and, he couldn't have known. So, I want to get into that, and how I feel about that. And ultimately, yes, that is one side of this coin. But when you decide not to see The Stand, it's not really about whether Stephen King knew it or not. It's really about you're showing people who might hire Amber Heard in the future that you're supporting something she's in. I want to make it clear that I'm not supporting anything she's in right now in this moment. As far as Stephen King, at this point, I'm also not happy he's not saying anything whatsoever. People have brought up the fact that, he doesn't cast, he doesn't get into the details and things like that. But, he's producing the thing, and he damn well knows who Amber Heard is, and he knows what's going on. It's not like he lives under a rock. He sees the controversies. So, staying silent in this case, since she is in his production, kind of irritates me. So this person here, Pinky88, and I guess she's subscribed, and obviously I appreciate whatever she says in the comment, but let's get into it. She says, she isn't the only one in The Stand. What about the other actors? Why should their work suffer because of her? Really not fair? I'll be watching. And not King's fault the media portrayed her to be a victim. How was he supposed to know the truth back when they filmed? No, that's going a bit too far to say you won't watch any of his future work. I mean, come on. I can't stand Heard and love Johnny Depp, but I'm not going to punish myself because of her and miss out on a series that will probably be amazing. And the original was one of my favorite series ever, at least she being portrayed as a much hated villain in it. Okay, so first of all, the people working on The Stand, the detailed jobs, the editing, the lighting, things like that, they have an amazing piece in the resume, they got paid, and they'll be able to move on. There's absolutely no problem I could see with anybody working on a finished product, paid and sealed, that's not going to be seen by fans who don't like Amber Heard. That's one thing. Also, let's be real. They're not really suffering as far as like 90% of the people that worked on it because they don't get recognition anyway. Realistically, the people who get recognition on the surface are just the stars of the show. Whoopi Goldberg is in it. Amber Heard, of course. I can't recall who else, but if you guys get my drift, only the main stars really get like the general recognition. So for the other people, they have the experience on the resume, they can move forward. It won't matter. And yeah, okay, she has a point that, some of you guys have also said he didn't know at the time, so fine. I get that. But it's not really necessarily about him when I say I'm not seeing it. It's more about setting the example. And just as a side note, there's quite a few of us who can't even enjoy watching her act, talk, do anything. So, Pinky88, if you can stomach seeing her on screen, go for it. Then she goes on to say, think of it this way, she has already been paid, so not watching it doesn't change that. It just means you as the viewer misses out on what could be an amazing piece of work by King and other actors in it. She will die in it, so at least she definitely won't be in season 2 if there is one. So, even if it was amazing, it would still be really cringy watching her scenes. Like I said, it's more about setting the example for people who would think of paying her in the future. So, Sofa Buddha says, I like King's work, but I won't be watching The Stand because I'm not prepared to support a self-confessed domestic abuser, and I replied, that's the bottom line. So, I'm with Sofa Buddha with that, no matter how you reason it out in your head about Stephen King, about how you could see it, it doesn't matter anymore. What about the people, that are good in all this, that are caught in the middle? The bottom line is, you'll be showing people looking in, considering hiring Amber Heard, that she's not paying a penalty and that the fans don't care and they'll see things she's in anyway, and that might sway them to say, I guess we could hire her. We don't want to look like those people who are going to blame women. We want to believe women, things like that. And obviously believe the good women who've got the evidence, but not the ones like Amber Heard, who are using, in this case, Johnny Depp, probably for his money and probably for a big bump of fame, because we know that she loves that fame. Deborah in USA here, she comes on all the time, so I gotta thank her for the comment, says, this was all done before the turd hit the fan and people knew what she was, but that part goes throughout the movie, so I don't know what my decision is yet, but I do know if she's in Aquaman 2, I'll miss Jason. So, if you're gonna skip Aquaman 2, this is essentially the same thing. I mean, Aquaman 2 is a big one. It's more important of a product, of a role, but essentially it's the same thing. And, I mean, director of Aquaman 2, James Wan, we're not even really thinking of him so much. No one really mentions him that much. Once in a while he gets mentioned, but not so much. It's more about showing Warner Brothers that we don't want to see her in the movie and we ain't paying for it. I've been going back and forth on this for a while. I've asked the community about it, and the final decision is, obviously for me, I'm not seeing The Stand, but I'm not going to feel bad about people who worked on it, because like I said, they got their pay, they got their experience, they're going to move on, and also, if the thing gets quote-unquote boycotted, nobody would think that it's the fault of someone editing the film, or the extra actors, or the people doing the lighting. Nobody would think they're responsible for low ratings, low profit, if people are strictly saying, we don't want to see it because Amber Heard's in it. They'll be fine. Their careers are untouched. So, I wouldn't even worry about that. That's a non-issue to me. Same thing with Aquaman. These people work on it, they get their experience, and if there is some kind of big backlash, big boycott, like with the Star Wars movies, and Warner Brothers does take notice, they'll know it's not the people that worked in the movie. They'll know what the fans are saying. Amber Heard, Amber Heard, Amber Heard, abuser. We don't want to see Aquaman. Warner Brothers is not going to blame the people, the artists working on the film, the other actors, things like that. So I hear that from a lot of people, like, well, what about the other people? They'll be fine. Caught in the middle. I mean, that's just life. Anyway, do some shout-outs. Shout out to Hippie Gal. Thank you so much. I see you here all the time. Shout out to Corey. I see you here all the time too. Comments really help. Drop me a comment if you want. The obvious question is, are you seeing The Stand? I've asked it here like 10 times. So the better question is, if you are planning on seeing it, but don't like Amber Heard, hopefully you'll see my point of view that the best thing to do is just not to see it, because you're sending out the signals to people looking in on it that it's okay to put an abuser in the film or the show because fans won't care so much. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, Depp vs. Heard, whatever I feel like actually. If you don't subscribe, I'll be pretty sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.